Okay, now let's talk about all the modifications I've done to the bike. So, starting with the front, I guess. It's not really a mod, but one of the first things I did with Austin Vince when I first picked up the bike was visit him, and we put on first things I did with Austin Vince, put on these cable ties. Strapped on all these cable ties to the front forks of the bike, just for easy access, because all you need when you're traveling, cable ties and duct tape, and you're good to go. So these cable ties attached to the front. And then of course you've got the tyre pump in the Endurance bag on the front fender. Then we've got the Baja Works screen at the front of the bike. So massive thanks to the guys at Baja Works in the States who sent this over, and this has been awesome, because the bike comes with no screen at all. So I really wanted to have a screen just to protect me from the wind. This has been amazing. And then, after like a few months of riding, the wind was still hitting me. So I attached this Puig extension on top of the Baja Works screen. Then, after another few weeks, the wind was still hitting me. So I then added another extension, another Puig extension on top. I've now got sort of two extensions and my the main Baja Works windscreen. So now I've got 3 screens on the front of the bike to protect me from the wind, which is fantastic. And then moving on to the mirrors. So these are the double take ram mount mirrors. So I put these up from Adventure Spec, and these are fantastic. You can completely untwist them, unscrew them, and move them around exactly how you like them. You can just remove them fully if you like. Then we move on to the phone mount. So this is also uses the ram mount system, and at the top it's got an SP Connect phone mount. So if you see my phone here, this is the iPhone 8 Plus. So massive thanks to Jason Daly in London back at Apple for helping me out with this phone after I smashed my other phone when I crashed in the snow. My first time ever riding in the snow in Munich in Germany last year. Crashed the first time within like the first minute of snow. Crashed the bike and smashed the screen and the camera, and I couldn't use it anymore. So the phone was useless. So massive thanks to Jason for helping me out with this new phone. You are awesome. And I miss you, man. So this is iPhone 8 Plus, and it's got this SP Connect sort of cover on it, case. And it's really clever. You get the case, when you buy the set, you get the case, and you get this extra sort of, the mounting bracket. And you literally take the phone, put it on, twist it, and it's locked. Whereas I used to have like this, I think it was like an Ultimate Add-ons or something, one when you have to undo like a lid, put the phone in, close the lid, screw it up, and that's it. And to make it waterproof. Whereas this, obviously it's not waterproof, but you can just screw it on and it stays, and it's absolutely epic. Now, I have to say, SP Connect actually sent me this mounting system before I left on this trip. And then when I crashed in Germany, I snapped the mounting bracket, which is why the phone fell off. And I loved it so much that I actually went and bought another set myself because I love the mounting system. Yes, it can snap off, but ever since then, since Germany in the past, well, yeah, what's it been since Germany? 12, 13 months since Germany now, maybe? Ever since then, I've had loads of crashes and it's never snapped off, so it's been totally fine. So I think it's awesome, this is brilliant. And it uses the same system as the mirrors. Similarly, my Garmin GPS also is mounted onto the RAM mount system as well. So it's got like a little ball socket, and it's like you can just move it any direction you like. And that also, you can also charge my Garmin Montana GPS. I can charge that on here as well, which is amazing. And a massive thanks again to Mark Pickers in the UK for the Montana. That was amazing. And it's all linked up to the battery, so I can charge that as I go along. And then I've got a GoPro mount also at the front here, which also links on to the RAM mount system. So the RAM mount system is amazing. You can interchange things. If you want to put your GoPro where the mirror is, remove the mirror, you can do all these things and chop and change. It's absolutely fantastic. And a very recent add-on that I've done is add this throttle lock, this Oxford throttle lock, where it's called Throttle Assist, for resting your hand, and it makes riding on the long stretches of just plain road a lot more easier. You can just rest your hand and you don't get as much strain. So I really, really like this. I wish I put this on sooner. And yeah, so as I mentioned before, one of the first things I ever did to this bike with Paul Gattens, a friend of mine from London. He's the one I went on the trip to Spain with, the Mini Mondo with Austin Vince and all the other bikers. That was like my shakedown trip for this big world tour. Because I'd never been off-road before, I'd never done much off-roading or gravel work, anything. So I went with these guys, and yeah, so Paul, he's really good with the electrics and whatnot. So I went to his place, and the first thing I did when I got the bike was attach this cable, which goes from the battery all the way under, all the way around, up to here. And this is like an I forget the name, Optimus or something, Optimal maybe? I forget the name of the brand. But yeah, it's like an Optimus cable that you connect. And this goes into, as I showed you before, to the tank bag. This connects, and then you've got power in your tank bag. So you can buy like any USB hub of Amazon, 4 or 5, 6 USBs, whatever, rewire it so that you get rid of the USB at the other end and replace it with this special Optimus, whatever it's called, cable. And then you can attach it, and then you've got power in your tank bag. And it's amazing. So I've got this on, thanks to Paul Gaddens. Then I've got power from the GPS. I also installed a light as well. There's a switch here you can see, which I, in Italy, I got this light from Adventure Spec, this X-Vision light I think it was called. And I actually installed it at the front. I drilled into the bark buster and installed this light, which would then, like an LED, which would then, the switch was here to turn it on, off and on. But then I had to remove the light when I put on my winter muffs, when it was freezing cold in Albania and Turkey. And so I removed the light and I accidentally forgot it in Istanbul. So I need to go and at some point, go back to Istanbul and pick up my light, my LED light. So I've now got the switch, but no light. But yeah, that was awesome as well. So I had this USB hub connected to the battery, GPS unit connected to the battery, this light also linked to the battery. Then that we go on to the heated grips. So I completely forgot about heated grips, and I tried to order some just before I left England, but they didn't come in time. So I was constantly searching for some. I looked for the Oxford hot grips, couldn't find them anywhere. When I was in Germany, I went to a store called Louis I think it might be near Koblenz, near the Nürburgring when I was there for ages, and picked up for like $15, $20, pretty cheap. I picked up some just third-party aftermarket, no idea what they think, maybe Chinese heated grips, and they're absolutely amazing. Installed them with the help of Billy, my awesome buddy at the Nürburgring, and all the guys there. Together we installed these heated grips, and they've been amazing ever since. They've got this waterproof button. I've got it sort of attached with sort of Velcro on the left side so I can access it. It's waterproof. You just press the button 5 times and you've got full power, or you can have half power or whatever you want. And these have been a lifesaver. When I had the winter muffs on, the Oxford muffs, and the heated grips, and the heated gloves, it was amazing. That was honestly the greatest riding ever. That was so cool. And on my heated clothing, that was amazing. So yeah, so I've got that. So I've got a lot of stuff powered up to the battery. So I've got to be really careful that I don't leave the ignition on without starting the engine, because I'll get a flat battery super fast. For example, when I was in, when I was right by the Iraq border, and I think I'd just been turned away by the military, and they were escorting me out the area, and then I sort of parked up somewhere to take some photos, and left the ignition on while I was taking photos. Went to leave, and realised the ignition had been on the whole time, but the engine was off, right? Only a few kilometres from the Iraqi border, and I had a flat battery, couldn't start the bike. So I had to wait for I'd flag down some locals to try and push me. They can do it. Then a tractor came, and I got a tractor to try and push me. Eventually, we got down a hill and got started. Funny story about that. We spent ages trying to bump start the bike because there's no kickstart, which is annoying about the bike. That's the only bad thing. So you got to put the bike in second gear, put in the clutch. When you get down a hill, get some speed, drop the clutch, and it comes into life. And we spent about half an hour trying to bump start the bike. Nothing was working. Then I realised the bike was in neutral the whole time. It was so embarrassing. I didn't tell the guys. I just sort of was like, oh, put the foot down, put it in second gear. We tried again, and the bike kicked fly. I'm such an idiot sometimes. It's hilarious. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, that's all that. Then we move on to yes, down here, I've got some little cables hidden on this side, and that's for my heated clothing. So massive thanks to Gerbing for sending me heated gloves, heated socks, heated jacket, which was a lifesaver as I was going through Albania and the Balkans, Eastern Europe and Turkey in the winter. That was awesome. So I'll show you how that works properly and how it all connects as well. That's fantastic. Then we move down to, yes, the Adventure Spec bash plate. The sump guard that comes with the bike is like a plasticky one. I mean, it gives you protection, but not the most. Resist has been absolutely amazing, especially if we're doing off-roading and stuff like this terrain that I'm on right now. This has been absolutely fantastic. While we're down there, actually, this here, these are my tire irons, which are literally just cable tied on to the swing arm, right? So I got some inner tube from a tire to protect the swing arm from, getting damaged by these tire irons, and I've just got them attached here. And everyone said to me, oh, they will fall off within the first day of traveling. This was when I left back in summer of 2017. Everyone said this, right? They've been amazing. They lasted 14 months until northern Pakistan. In northern Pakistan, going over Diosai, the second highest plains in the world, then they fell off then from the vibrations. But they lasted the entire, from London to Pakistan. How epic is that? So yeah, don't believe everything that people tell you, right? So this has been amazing. I'm so happy with this. And you can see that I never used them. I never had a flat tire because they were rusted away. I never used them. Amazing. And then yes, here we go. So the tank. So this is a 2017 model CRF250L. So IMS and Acerbis, I believe, are two companies that do tanks for this bike. But they do the tank for the 2012, I think, 2016 model. They do tanks for. But then for the 2017 model, their tanks aren't compatible with the bike because apparently the fuel pump changed or something with the 2017 model. So I wasn't able to get a larger tank for this trip. Anyway, IMS heard about my adventure, got in touch, and said, we'll build you the prototype tank for your bike for your trip. I was like, that's epic. So they built me this tank for this trip, and it's been amazing. So when I left England, I had a small tank, and the tank got sent to my house in the UK after it was finally finished. Then my parents drove out to Belgium with the tank and a few supplies, and I left Germany, went to Belgium, met my family, picked up this tank from them, and then I was with them for 2 days, then went back to Germany and continued my adventure. So I installed this with the help of all the guys at the Nürburgring in Germany, who are all just so amazing. Stuart, Alex, Billy, Jay, all the amazing guys there. We all managed to get this tank installed, and it was awesome. And then a few months after that, I got an email saying we've had to recall the tank. It's got a faulty issue, it leaks fuel. And so they said you got to destroy it immediately and send them a photo of it, and then when they get a new one, they'll send it out. But I couldn't do that because I'm on the road, right? So I just had to keep going. Sure enough, when I got to Albania, the border between Greece and Albania, fuel started pouring out in the middle of the mountains, and I was like, what do I do? This is great. Anyway, I found this random farmhouse, and they had some random car outside that they were doing work on. So I thought, okay, they must have some tools and stuff. And they didn't speak any English, but I explained the problem to them. One of the guys ran into the back, came back with this bag with a gasket, a seal in it. And it was for a car, I think. And this seal fit this custom tank perfectly. We put it on, put some silicone on it, let it set, and it lasted for 10 months or so. This little random gasket I found lasted for 10 months until Iran, when the heat was too much, and I was in the Lut Desert, hottest desert on Earth, one of the top 3 hottest deserts. And it melted again, and all the fuel poured out, and I was stranded in the desert for 4 hours, waiting for someone to help me rescue me, because my spare fuel was gone as well. But yeah, so honestly, this, even though they say I should destroy it, I think this tank is perfect because I just keep resealing it. I mean, if they have a new one, then I might try and get in touch with them and see if they can send me a new one. But if they can't, it doesn't matter. I can keep resealing it every few months. It's fine. So yeah, that's awesome. And as well as sending me this tank, IMS in the States also sent me these. These are the IMS Rally pegs. Now these are much bigger than the original Honda ones. Now the original Honda ones actually got bent within the first week of me riding them. When I went off-roading in Spain, I crashed the bike and bent the pegs, and the whole thing is destroyed. Anyway, these IMS Rally pegs are fantastic, especially off-roading when you're standing up or even just sitting down. These pegs are epic. So thanks so much to IMS, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. It's so cool. Yeah, what else do we have? Okay, let's talk about the tyres. So, a massive thanks to Michelin, who've been amazing helping me on this trip. I'm running the Anarchy Wilds front and rear, 130, 80, 18 on the rear, 90, 90, 21 on the front. When I was in Istanbul, after I think 15,000 kilometers or so at that point, I changed both tyres, put on a new set. Now the front, as you can see, is still totally fine. The rear is pretty much finished, so I need to put a new rear tyre on. So I'm in the process of trying to sort that out and get a new rear tyre. But yeah, these have been epic. I love these tyres. For any off-roading, I feel really safe. On the snow, these were actually amazing. Like let me put this in perspective. I'm an awful rider. I am so bad. I am no technical skill at all. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I always crash. Yet, I feel totally safe when I'm on the snow, the ice, no matter what conditions I'm on, even on the sand. I just think these are all-round amazing tyres. So definitely recommend these. Okay, so now onto the seat. So, when I set off from the Adventure Trail Film Festival last summer, I had the stock seat and nothing else. No cushions, nothing. So, I got chatting to Cliff and Jenny from Adventure Bike Shop on the day before I was supposed to set off on this trip. And we were chatting and they were saying, what? You haven't got any cushion at all? And this is a really hard stock seat. He said, no, your arse will get so painful, you need to have some sort of cushion. So they actually sent me out. I obviously left the next day and they sent me out an Airhawk cushion that you just sort of strap onto the seat and you inflate it and it gives you lots of padding. It's amazing. It's currently not on here at the moment. I had to take it off when I was in Lahore because a fellow biker had a problem with his back, so I gave it to him while he was doing some riding just to give him a bit of support. But it's okay because I'll go and collect that when I get back to Lahore. And at the moment, I've got this sheepskin. So massive thanks to Paul Harrison in the UK, who's also a biker, who gave me the sheepskin. How cool, what an awesome gift. And it used to be black. It's now turned blue because of the acid rain or something. It's really weird. And the ink has now gone onto the back of my trousers, which I can't remove, which is quite funny. But yeah, so this is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. You can get custom seats made, I think, but the stock seat with this, the Airhawk, and the sheepskin, or even just the sheepskin, or just the Airhawk, it's perfect. It's more than enough. So yeah, that's awesome. All right. Yes, all done. All right then. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you haven't fallen asleep with boredom. I'm exhausted and I'm cold. All right, I'm gonna go. But if it's, ride safe. Ciao, ciao, ciao.